Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Lewis University's television network. Today is Monday, October 14th, 2019. I'm Margarita Cremidas.
And I'm Mayette Lloyd.
And we begin with our top national stories. The police officer who shot and killed a Fort Worth woman in her home during a welfare check resigned today. 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson was playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew when her neighbor reported that the front door was open. Jefferson's lawyer said the officer fired so quickly that he didn't have time to perceive a threat. Officer Aaron Dean faces criminal charges.
School lunch shaming will now be illegal in the state of California. The new law will guarantee that all students will receive a lunch even if their meal fees are unpaid. The bill that was signed by Governor Gavin Newsom will also ensure that students aren't shamed or treated differently from other students. Newsom said his support for the bill was inspired by 9-year-old Ryan Coyote. The boy from Napa County Elementary gathered up his $75 allowance and helped pay off his third-grade class lunch debt. The governor said in a statement, quote, "I want to thank Ryan for his empathy and his courage in bringing awareness to this important issue."
A construction worker is still missing after the partial collapse of a hotel in New Orleans yesterday. Several floors of the Hard Rock Hotel project toppled down on Saturday, causing 30 injuries and 2 deaths. Rescue crews searched for the worker, but were cautious about the stability of the structure, saying that safety is most important. The mayor said the structure is not stable and urged people to stay away from the area. The search is still ongoing, and officials say that it could take weeks or even months to clean up the area.
A 10-year-old girl has died after she was thrown from an amusement park ride on Saturday at the Deerfield Township Harvest Festival. According to the New Jersey State Police, the girl, who has still not been identified, was ejected from a ride called Extreme at 6:18 p.m. and suffered serious injuries. She was then airlifted to Cooper University Hospital, where she was pronounced dead at 7:20 p.m. Police said the cause and circumstances surrounding her death are still under investigation. In a statement posted to Facebook, the company that operates the rides, Skelly's Amusement, expressed their condolences and said they're fully cooperating with the police. Park rides and games at the festival will be closed until they've been inspected by state officials.
5 rappers were removed from the Rolling Loud Festival lineup in New York at the request of the police on Saturday. The performers were removed from the festival after a New York Police Department official sent the organizers a letter citing safety concerns if the rappers took the stage. The performers who were dropped are 22GZ, Casanova, Pop Smoke, Chef G, and Don Q. Festival founder Tariq Cherif stated that the canceled artists would be paid their full booking fee and invited to perform at future festival sites. Coming up next, we'll take a look into leading local headlines.
And later, we have the latest political news. Stay with us.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea. Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
This Sunday, Chicago was overflowing with thousands of locals for the 42nd annual Bank of America Chicago Marathon Spectator. Expectations were high this year with an outstanding 1.2 million for the event. The Chicago Marathon is one of the world's largest races with participants from 135 countries. The 26.2-mile race winds through the city but starts and ends in Grant Park. Streets were closed off for runner safety. Now, 30 years into the sport, marathon experts say nearly 1 in 4 runners race for charity. The Chicago Pan-based cancer support network, Ironman Angels, has over 240 runners on their team this year. The money raised represents a large portion of their yearly fundraising.
An incident of sexual assault was reported between a 4-year-old girl and an unidentified man at Riley Elementary School in Avondale. The girl entered the bathroom at around 7 a.m. last month, where she was confronted by a man who forced her to touch him inappropriately and was then touched by the man. According to a statement from the school's principal and the Office of the Inspector General, the team is investigating and no one has been placed in police custody.
Last week, the Orland Park Village Board voted unanimously to ban sales of recreational marijuana within the village's limits. The ban was passed in preparation for the state's legalization of weed beginning January 1st, 2020. According to the mayor, Keith Packow, the town doesn't need another mind-altering drug. Although the ban has passed, Packow said he is open to revisiting the ban, but isn't likely to change his mind.
Henson Robinson Zoo announced last Friday that an Asiatic black bear named Mandy was euthanized after veterinarian staff members say she was exhibiting unusual behaviors. Mandy was born in 1984 in West Virginia and moved to Henson Robinson in 1986. The bear's typical lifespan is 25 to 29 years, but Mandy was 35 when she passed away.
The Griffin Theater will bring critically acclaimed play Letters Home to Lewis University on October 15th as a part of the Arts and Ideas series. This Joseph Jefferson Award-nominated play puts the current wars in Afghanistan and Iraq to the forefront by bringing to life actual letters written by soldiers serving in the Middle East. The letters were written when each soldier was going through difficult times, including training, deployment, separation from family and loved ones, combat and occupation duties in Afghanistan and Iraq. This play will give audiences a new perspective into the soldier experience and allow them to gain new insight into a war that is told through the eyes of the men and women fighting in it. The performance will start at 7:30 p.m. in the Philip Lynch Theater. When we return, we have your day's top political headlines.
And later, we'll take a look at weather with Jackie. Stay with us.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea. Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Today, President Trump's former top Russia advisor, Fiona Hill, is testifying before House committees on the Ukraine scandal. Hill was subpoenaed by the House of Intelligence, Foreign Affairs, and Oversight committees to give the House information regarding Trump's communications with Ukraine following the whistleblower complaint in the impeachment inquiry against Trump. Although Hill officially stepped down from her position in August, she was involved as Trump's personal lawyer. Other former and current Trump administration members will be interviewed by the House panels throughout the week as part of the impeachment inquiry. Defense Secretary Mark Esper announced President Trump's order to remove remaining U.S. forces from northern Syria. The Syrian Democratic Forces were trying to negotiate with the Syrian regime and their Russian backers in order to counterattack against the Turks. Last week, Trump ordered a group of U.S. troops to be pulled back from the border because Turkish forces pushed further south. Republican lawmakers have expressed their opposition to Trump's decision, as it is seen as a betrayal of the Kurds, and it makes it difficult for the United States to build alliances. The pace of the withdrawal is determined by the U.S. Central Command, and it won't be immediate. President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, is under federal investigation to find out if Giuliani violated federal lobbying laws in his involvement with Ukraine. Giuliani's financial dealings with two associates, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, are being examined following the indictment of Parnas and Fruman based on campaign finance-related charges. The FBI and prosecutors are focused on Giuliani's involvement in flow of money overall. Giuliani stated that he believes that his involvement with Ukraine was appropriate. He even said that the allegations of the investigation are baseless.
What's the relationship between Giuliani and the two associates?
So the associates are main figures in the impeachment inquiry, and Parnas even introduced Giuliani to former and current Ukraine officials.
Coming up next, we have your weather, and later we'll have a look at sports. Stay tuned.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Hi, welcome back to LUTN. I'm Jackie with the news weather. Current temperatures today are at 54 degrees, humidity of 50%, and winds west 8 miles per hour. Local temperatures are mainly in the 50s, as you can see. So 51 up here in Madison, 53 in Chicago, 54 in Romeoville, and 51 in South Bend. Our satellite and radar is looking pretty good. A few minor things here, some storms down south, some cloud coverage up in our northern states, mainly clear in Chicago area. And for today's almanac, today's temperatures are 54 as your high and 36 as your low. Normal temperatures, a high of 63 and a low of 43. Record temperatures, a high of 89 back in 1975 and a low of 27 back in 1872. Remember to keep up with LUTN weather on Facebook and Twitter. Now back to Maya at the desk.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much for that update. Stay tuned for sports next.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to LUTN. I am Matt Mohan. Both the men's and women's swimming teams had a dual meet at Illinois Wesleyan on Saturday afternoon. The women won by a combined score of 169.5 to 110.5. The men, meanwhile, had a convincing victory by a score of 213 to 43. The Lewis men won all 14 events on the day, led by Philip Bjorkholm, who had wins in the medley, freestyle, and butterfly events. The Flyers will return to action on October 26th, where they face off with Grand Valley State in Allendale, Michigan. The most successful Flyer of the weekend is former Lewis basketball star Max Strus. Strus signed a two-way contract with the Boston Celtics this past summer and made his NBA debut this week in the Celtics preseason. Strus led all scorers with 14 points on Sunday against the Cleveland Cavaliers, an impressive mark that will hopefully lead to more playing time for Max as the season rolls on. History was made in the world of distance running this weekend. Eliud Kipchoge became the first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours. The Kenyan was guided by pacemakers and ran the 26.2-mile Vienna course in 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. That averages out to under 4 minutes and 34 seconds per mile. History was also set at the Chicago Marathon yesterday. Another Kenyan, Brigid Kosgei, set the women's world record of 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 4 seconds. That mark smashed the previous record by over a minute. In briefs, the Blackhawks lost 3-2 in overtime to the Winnipeg Jets on Saturday. The Hawks have been off to a rough start this season as they currently are winless at 0-2-1. They look to capture their first win of 2019 tonight at 6:30 against the Winnipeg Jets at the United Center. The Bulls got their first preseason win as they took down the defending champion Toronto Raptors by a score of 105-91. The Bulls wrap up their preseason schedule tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. In the MLB, the Houston Astros got even with the New York Yankees in the best-of-7 ALCS with a 3-2 win in 11 innings. The Washington Nationals, meanwhile, took a commanding lead, winning their first two on the road against the St. Louis Cardinals of their best-of-7 NLCS. Game 3 of that series is tonight in our nation's capital. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's it for today's news. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis News on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and by visiting our website, charliemedia.press. I'm Margarita Cremitis.
And I'm Mayette Lloyd.
I'm Ayana Squires with Politics.
I'm Jackie Santillan with the weather.
Have a great night.